But
Oh, so
wonderful.
And actually, speaking of recording, one of the items I think was minutes of our meetings, right?
I mean, we could probably just get whatever Zoom recordings we have done for these meetings and just get them transcribed. Like, there's plenty of free software that'll do that. I mean, I can upload it.
We pay for Otter.
Well, what I actually did was for those is I just took the attendance off of Zoom for the meetings and then put it in a spreadsheet and hyperlinked in the meeting video off YouTube.
Oh,
so
okay, perfect. So that's not an open item anymore.
No, hopefully. I don't think, unless you guys want to do that going forward to taking minutes or transcribing after, but for like it was a requirement for the task force PE1, so I think what I did was fine.
Sweet. I think that's an easy way to close that book.
Cool.
Less work. Better for all of us, I guess.
Okay, so does it make sense to go through the kind of the checklist, open items, and just do a status?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna share my screen just to kind of show you what me and Robin have been working on. Oh, Robin.
Perfect.
Oh, sorry.
Host.
Go ahead.
Thanks. So, you guys can see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go to our spreadsheet here because I think it's easier first. So we went through the whole application and really like went through it to see what do we know we have not only done but like have the backup for, and that brought us to 137 points in total and the 3 priority actions. Sworn off before we were talking about PE9, the community engagement and education part of it. That's the last priority action that we need to make it 3. So we're using the GHG, we're using the community engagement, and then the last one is the complete streets policy. Right. So those 3 are getting us the priority. And then the other ones that are in green here will get us all together to that 137 points. So we're all good on those ends. The ones that are highlighted in yellow are the ones that like we had spoken about as a task force of like either doing or, you know, we're in the works of finishing up those projects, but we don't have anything set in stone yet of, you know, direct backup that we can upload now to use as points. So those are ongoing things. And if we get them before the July date, that's great. I know one is like fleet inventory. I'm still working on that. So until it's finalized, I'm not counting it, but if I can get it done before the July deadline, we'll add it to our 137. And then.
Now the 137 is against a requirement of 120, correct?
Correct, yes. So
so you're saying that effectively we've taken the actions and we've collected the documentation that we need.
Well, that's what we're still working on. So all of the ones that are in green, they say in purple need to upload into application. That is that we have the backups, or we need to get the backups and upload it into the actual portal for it to be ready to be submitted. So there are some here, like, what is that one? Partnership with other entities. That's fully green because it's uploaded into the portal. It has the little description in it. This one I have to finish because we're going to use this meeting part of our minutes, and then that will be fully uploaded. So I think that's a really good stance as where we are now. It's just kind of making sure we have what we need to uploading it, and writing that little description. And I'm just gonna bring that up. This is just an example. The description of the implementation is going to be a really huge help for some of these, like Bob's GHG. I wouldn't know what to write for that. So if the task force or Bob wants to like write something, if there's an item that, you know, you have done and feel comfortable writing about it, that's completely fine. Or if me and Robin throughout the next 3 weeks are like, I don't know exactly what we want to say about that, we can, you know, shoot everyone an email and say, can someone help us?
So would it make sense to add a column to the spreadsheet, which would essentially represent the text that needs to be pasted into the implementation description? And then, you know, that way we can, either somebody can draft something, they can share it, they can look at it, we can, you know, modify it and then say, okay, good to go. And then you can load it into the application.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I can add one. Yeah,
just off to the right is fine, since I assume essentially every item is going to need an implementation.
Yeah, the ones that we're uploading.
Yeah,
I'll need one. So, and some, like if you look on other towns that have uploaded their application, some just have a line and some have a paragraph, you know? So I think it just depends on what we're uploading and how much we really feel like we need to explain. But
yeah, something like the audit is going to be more complex than, you know, evidence that we have recycling bins in the library.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, for that, people just wrote, you know, said it was attached.
Right. Sorry. Let me move this. So that, I mean, that's really what it is. And then everything that's on that spreadsheet is reflected into the application here. So that's kind of where we are for the next 3 weeks.
And so you and Robin have access rights to load information into the application, right?
Yes. And I know going through like the drive and the shared folders, I know Sarah, I've seen like you and Paul like upload the documents to like from the website PDFs and everything like that too. So we're just pulling from that, uploading that into the application itself on the state website, and that's
yeah, I think it makes sense for us to put our stuff in the Google Drive as a repository. Then we've kind of got a record for ourselves, plus you can readily pull it and load it. And it looks like Bob has joined us, and Keith.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Hi guys, sorry I was on a call. I apologize. I had a couple questions whenever you have a moment.
So you're in the car, Swarnoff's in the car. Bob, are you in a car as well?
No, I'm home. I just got home a little while ago.
Okay, you were in a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just had a couple quick questions. I apologize for joining late.
That's okay. I was just going over kind of like the overall what we have left of the application to finish up before the deadline in 3 weeks. And we're there. We have our once Swarnov has the PE9 community engagement and education part of it. We have all 3 priority actions, and in total we'll have 137 points as of right now. So we're set to do that. We just have to finish up getting the backup information and uploading it into the portal. So we're seeing the light.
Good.
We're almost there.
All right, so I had a quick question. I in the email I sent around after I'd gone through the whole all the town submissions, should we look at and this is really to the general task force and see what they want to do, if it's worth the time and effort, and I'm willing to do the work. I think I had noted one of the towns had used the Mid-Hudson greenhouse gas analysis from 2010 and gotten their community greenhouse gases approved, greenhouse gas emission approved. And again, I apologize if I'm not using the right terminology, but I wonder if we should go ahead and do that and try and submit that. It's an extra 16 points. Because we're doing our own greenhouse gas inventory that, the work that Bob did, the voluminous work that Bob did, a lot of effort, Bob, a great job. And so, I wonder if we shouldn't just try and submit our community greenhouse gas inventory based off of that Mid-Hudson one that was done, in 2010 and try it and see if we can get approval.
So if you want to calculate for the community, I did look at that earlier this week. To do it per their prescriptive way is far too time consuming. But there is a way we can do it using data from the University of California, Berkeley, which I could do something probably next week. And I don't know if they'd accept it or not because it doesn't meet their methodology, but it's probably as good as, if not better than their methodology. So I don't know, I'll just throw that out too.
And Bob, that would be the same data that's used as the basis for the carbon tracker by Cure 100 and other groups, correct?
Exactly. And we have it by zip code. I have the number of dwellings per zip code. I could do something with that fairly quickly and get a number. And the worst that happens, maybe don't give us all the points for it. When do we trying to get this thing in by?
July 1st.
Yeah, so I could do something next week if you think it's worth it.
Well, in terms of July 1st, the priority is the items that have already been identified, right? Making sure those are all done.
Yeah,
but if there's low-hanging fruit that we can readily, add to the inventory, that's fine.
If we can pull away and overprescribe, then it gives less to the state to cut away points and find a way to dock us down. Because a lot of the things that I think we're submitting for have a lot of variable points. So obviously, if we ask for 10 and they give us 6, and that's what we were actually expecting to get, and no, that'll give us 120. I guess that's the only argument for seeing if we can scrape those things together. But no, I do agree with you on that.
Yeah, and 16 points is significant.
Right.
And if it already exists, as it really.
Well, there's another argument. We can see what they'll accept, because if we want to go for the silver, then we'll either get points or we'll know where we're short.
I can almost guarantee and I use that word very loosely, that we probably don't have enough points to get to silver. There's other action items we'll probably have to complete to get there, but I do like your approach of, why not see as many points as we can scrape together and argue for, if we've done the action in some way, shape, or form. Because the town's made a lot of great decisions over the past 10 years that relate to what's on that checklist. But it may not be done in the exact A, B, C route that they want it done. So it might be worth submitting it, see what the state says. Maybe they're lenient, maybe they're not.
But my only concern, if I could just build on that, Swanoff, is that if you go through all of the town's greenhouse gas inventory for the municipalities, sometimes they got 8 points, sometimes they got 16. And without being in the middle of that process, we can't determine what drives 8 points versus 16. And I would hate to lose 8 points, on Bob's work and that have us not, and that a combination of things knock us out. That's my only thought.
Fair point.
Yeah, that's my only thought.
And when we've accumulated the points in the spreadsheet that get us to the 137, have we tended to be conservative or optimistic?
Kira, was that based off of the points that I had done in that breakout, like with you guys on that call where me and Robin had set up, or is that like a recalculation that you did?
No, those whatever was on the application that you had as like marked as completed, whatever points you assigned it is what I put into that spreadsheet.
Okay, so then it's probably conservative or realistic, as I would put it then.
Well, it was interesting. Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it was interesting to note when you go through all the town's approvals that there is a variation in the points awarded. You know, because you think the way that the system set up is okay, 10 points for this, you get 10 points. You know, that I didn't realize there was a lesser amount could be awarded. You know, which is a little.
Yeah, some actions do have them listed. So, I mean, I think we're still going to be comfortably over, because I know I was estimating it conservatively, assuming the state said we didn't do everything they wanted to a T. Even though I strongly believe we have done, I don't have a reason to believe against it. But I do agree, if we can get additional points, like to Sarah's point, if there are, I wouldn't call them low-hanging fruit, because I don't think that community GHG inventory is going to be something that's, you know, a 1 hour thing, sit down, bang it out, like a homework assignment. But it seems like that's something that'll be invested over the course of a week or a weekend. And if either Bob or Keith, either of you guys can crank something like that out, that gives us a padding of up to 16 points. And
yeah, I'm willing to do what I said. I think I could do it in under 4 hours.
Bob, I apologize. Yeah, Bob, I lost you when you were explaining what you had found. If you could just give me in 2 sentences, so, I'd appreciate it. Yeah.
So what we have is the University of California at Berkeley did an extensive study of greenhouse gas emissions per every zip code in the United States, and it's broken out into some detail. And it's actually been verified by the Croton team to be pretty accurate, because they've been actually getting people to calculate their personal greenhouse gases, and they're banging it up against those University of California Berkeley study, and they're coming out, you know, pretty much right on target. So all I would have to do is take that number, bang it against the number of households by zip code, and you know, in a matter of hours, I could do a little spreadsheet and then write a report that says, you know, the worst that happens, it's off a little bit, but
it's huge that you have the University of Berkeley backing. It's not just, you know, that's, you know, verifiable data, and, you know, by a accredited institution. That's good.
I mean, not even that, but to build on that, on a sidebar, a lot of NYSERDA's programs are being inspired by what's going on in California. So that could be something that they will accept.
What would you do with Mohegan Lake, Bob?
They may not have data from Mohegan Lake, but there's such a small population, I'd probably use an average number for that or something like that. I don't want to try to pull up data now. I'll just, like I said, I'm willing to look at it. I actually worked for a couple hours earlier this week on that to try to pull the data together. So I have a little bit started on that.
So quickly, because I think there's 2, I guess, pending items to discuss on this call.
Can you make it 3? I have a new one to add. Sorry.
Oh, hey, Matt, how are you?
Hey, Matt.
We get new faces every few minutes.
Sorry, but I've been Zooming since about 4 o'clock. I'm still going strong.
Yeah, you haven't gotten any fatigue yet?
No, I have definitely Zoom fatigue. I'm starting to hate this thing.
Well, as Robin was mentioning in the background, we're on the home stretch. It looks like we'll get the green light through. So we're just trying to figure out how we can pad our points and ensure we blow by the minimum requirement for bronze for all the stuff we've done. But yeah, on my 2 points and then Matt's point, I don't know what your point is, but I'll let you take care of that.
It's a good one. You guys are gonna like this one.
Awesome. So in terms of the 2 points, it's the 2 priority actions. In terms of the community side, I will be putting that together, and then I believe we have to email that to NYSERDA to get their approval, and then we'll need to crank on getting, one of us to do a presentation, educating the community on mitigation methods as well as reduction methods. So mitigation could be something like, oh, well, instead of buying your next car as a gas guzzler, go get an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid, or, go ahead and install a heat pump if you are replacing your natural gas heater or your water heater right now. So those are the kind of things that we could focus on in terms of mitigation, in terms of reduction. There's probably quite a bit we can do as it relates towards energy efficiency education, likely potentially alongside Sustainable Westchester. I need to do a little bit more digging into it, but those kind of cross promotions on top of the community solar efforts we've done with Sustainable Westchester and the task force, those should all start to qualify once NYSERDA blesses that. I am aiming to have that document done by tonight, but being cognizant of my recent work schedule, I am going to gun to get that done definitely before the end of this week so that the team can review it and then we can submit it over for NYSERDA's approval or the state's approval. And I don't think there was any legislation to pass on top of that for my last review through. But in terms of any actions items on that, I will send that over and circulate it in an email as needed. And then the second thing to kind of close out and wrap up on is related to Bob's points that he got us for the government GHG inventory. Bob, are there any pending actions as it relates to what is there on the PE2 side based on CSC documentation, as I believe we may have misconstrued the information Carla may have shared, as we're both going for CSC points and certification on top of CEC, which are two different projects. I think Carla was sharing the actions we needed to do to get points in both. And that's where things like the legislation, getting 2 years of data and things like that, which aren't listed as part of the CSC certification, came up in that conversation. But I just wanted, Bob, since you're here, I'll let you on that.
Yeah, in PE2, off the top of my head, you need to have a greenhouse gas inventory and you need to make it public. So that's a minimum. Do we have it posted somewhere on the website?
I think,
honestly, if you ask me, I think we should do more than just post it on the website. I think that's pretty awesome that we have one. So, I mean, we can give it to the team, to our team, and we can put a press release together, and it highlights the great work that you guys are doing. Why not?
Well, whatever you want to do, Matt. But at a minimum, I think it needs to be. I think the criteria was like readily available, always accessible to the public. So we could do more. Right? That would be wonderful.
We could definitely do more.
Yeah, but I think to meet the requirements, it should be somewhere a link on the town website where you can click and view it, because I think it does sort of imply you need to do that. I think we do those two things, we have the greenhouse gas inventory, and then if we just make it publicly available, that would be number two. And then in the meantime, I would, like I said, I'll work on the community one. Probably next week I could wrap that up. At least.
And Bob, to confirm, there was nothing, the legislation things and the things we were talking about, the additional ones, those are all CEC related. Because
the best I can tell, Swarnoff, because none of them were listed in the PE2 documentation that I saw. And then we got that note from Carla. And to me, I agree, from everything I can see, it looks like it's all for clean energy community.
Right. Unfortunately, that's not the July 2nd deadline we're punching for, so
that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Okay, and Keith, because you did far more digging, I know we did a little bit together, but into the different town applications, you didn't see anything outside of what Bob's already prepared as part of the PE2 thing to confirm, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
All right.
So who's got yeah. Is it Robin that can post it on the web, or Kyra? I'm not sure who.
Yeah, Robin can get it up. Both of them can get it up.
If you need any help, Robin, just let me know. But it's post. You've seen the report, I assume, posted in the shared drive, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So like a Word document. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just gonna motion real quick. We start another organization with a beginning with a C, so that we can just be thoroughly confused. Okay. All right. CSC, CE. right? We'll just
and it should be 3-letter acronym, Keith.
Right, exactly. Beginning with a C. All right. Just to confuse the hell out of everybody. Yeah.
Begin and end with a C. The middle letter is the only thing that changes.
Yeah, right. What's next? D, E, F, G. All right, we're good.
So going back to Swarnoff, your first point with respect to PE9 and presentation to the community on mitigation and adaptation. Do we need to plan, time at either an existing town board session or a separate session, to present that between now and July 1st?
I believe so. So basically what we did, assuming the way Carla had presented it and the way I also understood the documentation, again, I'm still trying to figure out what she gave in terms of information as CEC focused as opposed to CSC. But in theory, the number of great events that we've put together as a town, either in partnership with Sustainable Westchester or what Bob's presentation was as well. We may not get points for those previously, but going forward, any events that we put together should qualify, most definitely. But to answer your question in a very simple fashion, yes, we should put together at least 2 events that are surrounded.
You need 2 events before the first?
Yes.
So July 15th is July, I wish. June 15th is our last town board meeting for the month of June.
So we could do, it doesn't have to be during the town board meeting. It just has to be a community engagement effort. So in theory, you could be entirely independent of that.
Okay, I just wanted to put the mile marker out there that our last town board meeting of the month is June 15th, because the 22nd is early voting, the 29th is the 5th. Is the 5th week of the month. So 5th Tuesday of the month. So if you don't need it to be there, then that's fine.
But can't we utilize something that we've already done as,
so,
we had the presentation to the board. We've publicly aired our meetings in at least 1 or 2 occasions. And we did the community solar, which was clearly a community outreach sponsored by the government.
What about if we got you a table at Summerfest?
Yeah, I think that's being visible to the community and providing information.
Right, June 19th. I'll get the chamber to donate it, and we'll figure it out. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, but I think we need to have 2 events doing community outreach post submission to NYSERDA. From what I understood from Carla's conversation, we had that in depth.
Okay, so I have your second, and that brings me to my next point. Hold on, I might have your second. So
yes.
So Sustainable Westchester reach out, and they are asking if we would be interested. Hold on, I'm gonna just read you what they wrote me from Claire. Nope, that's not it. That's a different Claire. Okay. We'd like to set up a call to discuss further community solar outreach in the form of a CEC, not a CSC, CEC campaign. Such a campaign involves simply having 10 folks enroll in the community solar program. The town of Yorktown would earn a $5,000 grant from NYSERDA for green initiatives. Any takers?
Let's do it. If it's that simple.
That simple.
Yeah, I mean, 10 is easy. You've already got over 200 signed up.
We're over 300 now.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, but if there's, if you need to plan one, right, after submittal, this could be one of them. She sent me that email, I think today or yes, I don't know, they all bleed together now, yesterday. So
yeah, I think that
we
could
can
also
have
help.
People sign up at Juneteenth or Summerfest
right.
celebration.
Right. So is that something that you can use?
I think so.
And then the other thing I was thinking, quite frankly, guys, is if through your, because they're really your efforts, if we can obtain those 10, then we've got a bit of money to spend. If you guys have money that you want to spend on.
Yeah.
Just don't tell the planning department.
Definitely good news.
And Yep.
How much are we talking about?
$5,000 for 10 people signing up.
If we're going to Summerfest, we could give out LED light bulbs.
Well, I think we need to get the money first. So if we get the 10 to sign up, then we get the $5,000, and then for the street fest, you can go give out LED light bulbs, right?
It could be more impactful to use that towards some of the action items that require consultants to come in.
Mm-hmm.
We could invest it towards that on the checklist and push for silver even faster.
Right.
Or where you need to spend money and then get rebates later.
Right.
That acts as seed money.
Yeah, and Con Ed's practically giving the bulbs away. If you look at they're like 50 cents a piece now.
How much?
50 cents a piece.
Yeah, that's giving them more.
Yeah, their latest website, they keep sending out these proposals. Yeah.
So to circle back and close it on PE9, there might be some simple legislation that needs to go through that basically says that the town is going to be committed towards educating the public on clean energy initiatives. I'm going to verify if that's something we need done as part of the CSC versus CEC, and shoot that around to everyone to take a look at.
Matt, just to get it on your radar, though, you're gonna have to move on that because again, Tuesday's the last meeting.
I'll have something definitely before Tuesday. I'm gonna aim for tonight.
Okay. Again,
Matt, what's the timing on that for submission and everything like that? Like it has to go to legal first and then.
No. For Tuesday, I mean, if I can have it by Friday, that's ideal.
Which is the day after tomorrow, Keith.
Right. If you tell me that you're
that Friday, yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna gun to have it by tonight.
Okay.
I've had a couple of work emergencies that I've had to be dealing with for the last week, so I'll definitely make time to get at least that over to you by tonight.
Yeah, no, listen, and I'm not trying to squeeze you on it. It's just the timeline that you're working on and what I have left from the town board side.
I get it.
It's our only option.
I get it. We got to get it done.
It's one of it's 5 points or 10 points. It's not a huge.
We need PE9.
Right. So, it's a safety thing.
It's a priority action.
Priority action.
Right.
Yeah, we need it. No matter what. Okay. But yeah, that's about everything on my side. I'm gonna push hard on PE9, and I will keep you guys updated as I get those things over. I'll work on it tonight for sure, and get as much of it over, at least the legislation tonight. And I guess other than that, Bob said he's gonna own the community side, and then I guess we're going to kind of group together and help Kara and Robin out on the descriptions for the application. And if there are other additional points that we can squeeze out, Keith, Bob, Sarah, Paul, whoever has free time and wants to take those up. Obviously, the more points, the merrier, so that we can kind of pad the number of things that we're asking for as part of all the actions that we've already completed as a town.
And Swarnoff, for the benefit of those people that joined the meeting late, you mentioned the description of the implementation actions where Kira and Robin need input from us as to what to put in that application, in that section. Kira is putting a column in our spreadsheet so that we can put in the text, and then it can be uploaded into the application by them. Right. If they don't know what to put, then we need to provide that input in each of those. So that's going to be a column in the spreadsheet that we're responsible for filling out. Right.
Yep.
That's an action item for all of us.
Just keep in mind when you're writing the descriptions, in reading through the 65 or 68 towns that are certified, some, like we talked about, didn't do any description, and some it was a book. So there's got to be a middle ground there.
Right, it can be a line item, it can be a paragraph, depending on the nature of what it is. And
Yeah, and then
cases,
I just have one
attached.
one clear up too. So the portfolio manager task, that's for clean energy or that's for smart communities?
Our assumption is CEC for clean energy communities, not for CSC.
Okay. So I think after our discussion tonight too, I think maybe we can all be on the same page of that's an after July 1st deadline task.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. All right, great. I just wanted to clear that up.
Cool. So we're rocking and rolling. Any other thoughts?
You guys are doing a great job.
For the benefit of everyone on the call now, we are meeting again in 2 weeks. So please put it on your calendars.
Is it possible for somebody to
well
actually
as the
send a
Zoom
meeting
link
notice out though?
Yeah, we discussed that as well.
Because this is like kind of frustrating.
So Bob, this is for the old guys, right? You want a meeting notice, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because CRS, we can't remember. You know what? Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm with you. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you, brother.
Things are just too busy to like, oh, I think I have a meeting on a Tuesday. If we can get a meeting.
I know it was just Paul and myself that
yeah.
showed initially.
I'll send you a text message, Bob.
So the other thing I was going to, okay, Kyra, you have something you want to say?
Yeah, that I was just going to say, me and Robin are going to work on having a reoccurring Zoom date, but I'll also send out an email the day of the meeting as a reminder too, if it's not in the calendar.
For me, if it's just on the calendar, I don't miss many meetings that are on the calendar. But
yeah, we're going to work on that coming up. Like we'll do that in the future.
And I was going to mention that we're also going to be working on an EV car show. I'm going to probably speak with Matt on that Monday. Yeah. If anybody wants to join, welcome. But we have a small group from Yorktown 100, and we've already been talking to the folks in Croton. So we have a lot of ideas. We're going to need a place to put it, but we can do that jointly with the CSC and the town. Could be all of us work together. And I don't mind if Yorktown 100 does 90% of the work. It doesn't matter. We'll share the credit and have a nice EV car show.
Well, I think Town Hall parking lot is a perfect location because it's well located. It's very visible. There's plenty of parking on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon when Town Hall is closed. So I think if we can make that happen, that's a no-brainer.
Never closed, ever. It's never closed, right, Robin? Right, Kira?
Never.
So the two things we're think about was where to have it, and that's kind of what we were thinking also.
Yeah, and this makes the most sense.
And the second thing is, do we want to dovetail with another community event that's going to draw a lot of people? Do we want it to be a standalone event? Just think about that.
Because, well, I think if we can get town sponsorship, then it doesn't need to be in conjunction with something else.
Yeah, you can do it that way. I think you can do it two ways, right? I think you can do it as a standalone, and then if you wanted to pair it, again, you've got other events that are coming up, whether it's the Grange Fair or.
I was thinking like the Lions concerts at the track.
Concerts. Yeah, and then you can just park them right over in the parking lot there by the Cappellini Center. There's definitely options, so we can work that out.
Think about that.
And certainly, the street fair as well. There's usually a car show on Commerce anyway.
Right. We're planning on doing one probably between the middle of July and the middle of August, and then a second one in September for Drive Electric Week. So anyway, just for everybody's knowledge.
I mean, the other thing you can do is maybe you can pair it with, we're doing National Night Out for the first time with the police department, so you can do it with them too. I mean, they can show off their hybrid. I mean, I don't know.
Ooh, that'd be nice. And that'll reach a different, element of the population that is going to turn out for an event like that.
Yeah, and they're doing up at Granite Knolls, so I don't know. We can talk to the chief about it, see what he says.
We'll do it. We can do a few, and we have people that are willing to volunteer and bring their cars. We have a pretty nice selection now, and I think, Sarah, you're one of them. So.
Well, I've got 2 EVs plus an electric bike.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
And
I can bring my toaster. It's electric. No.
Hey, Matt, real quick on EV. Has the town EV vehicles? Have the town looked at purchasing electric vehicles? Have we gone down that route yet?
We're starting to. We've asked LaBerge to look into the different incentives that are out there. This has been like an extension of the conversation we had with Flo for the EV charging stations. So like there's incentives from the utilities, and then there's incentives from the state. So we're trying to gather as much information as we can, and also, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We can go look at other communities and see what they've done as well that succeeded in implementing EVs. But so we're still doing the information gathering. But LaBerge sent me a memo. I'll circulate it to everyone tomorrow. They sent me a memo, I want to say last week, that had a bunch of the incentives from the state. ZEV, REV, all that stuff that we can look into.
And are you working with Sustainable Westchester on that also?
I have a call coming up with them that I wanted to bring them in on it. So that's one of the things that we're discussing.
Yeah, they have a person. I can't think of his name, but I'll try to get him at Monday's meeting, but I so far haven't been successful in reaching him. But
for transportation.
Yes.
Yes, that's Seth Leitman, Leitman.
Yeah. But the problem is I just can't seem to get him. But
I had an email from him today, so I will happily respond.
Okay, yeah.
There's the gatekeeper. There you go.
I'm waiting for somebody to introduce us, and his name I won't say.
Yeah, he's transportation for Sustainable Hudson Valley as well as Sustainable Westchester.
Yeah, if you want to connect us, that'd be great. I mean, we're just trying to, like I said, because honestly, the conversation with Flo got swirly because they changed the rules of engagement during their presentation, which I really didn't appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I wanted to go do additional legwork and homework to make sure that we know what we're doing. So that's why I asked LaBerge to go look at some stuff, and I'm happy. And Sustainable Westchester, Jen reached out to them this week to set up a meeting with them. So all those things are. And
Leo Wegman is now with Sustainable Westchester, and he was very engaged in Croton when they brought in the fleet of electric vehicles.
Right,
in that
he's
town.
The one that's supposed to introduce me to Seth for about.
Okay.
We've been talking, but somehow it hasn't happened yet. But if you could just send me Seth's email, I'll try to hit him directly.
So for the silver certification, there's a big component for having EV vehicles and EV chargers in the town. That's a very big piece of that.
We should have it. I mean, here's the good news. The Senate passed the parkland alienation for Granite Knolls for the solar project. The Assembly is expected to do it, I believe, tomorrow. So that clears us of that hurdle. The governor just needs to sign it. In the meantime, it lets HESP go into into the planning board, and they're going to have EVs as part of their installation. So at the very least, we'll have 4 EVs up at Granite Knolls. And then as we continue to explore these other options with chargers over at other facilities in town, we'll get there.
Are they going to be owned by the town, the EV up at Granite Knolls?
The stations are owned by the town.
Okay, good, because that's one of the pieces of the certification. It has to be owned by the town.
Yep, owned by the town.
Okay, good. All right, good.
And Matt, just ask a quick question on that regarding Flo. Did Con Ed specify what kind of charging stations they will subsidize, and will it only be Flo? Because my understanding was Con Ed was independent of who the end provider was, but they're just going to take a look at what the systems are that are going in and approve or disapprove how much.
Because they told us that we could go apply to Con Ed. Originally, they told me that we can go to apply to Con Ed and see what the max coverage was going to be. And then on the presentation to the board, she flipped it and said that we had to select someone first and then go to Con Ed, which didn't go well. And so upon further research, we learned that we could just go to Con Ed. That's why I'm salty, right now.
All right, so that's an immediate disqualifier there.
Yeah.
If that's an interest to the town, I can connect us with a couple of people at ChargePoint and a couple of other EV charging companies, station companies, so that the board can review who they would.
Definitely connect us. Definitely, I think we're exploring all of our options. So.
Yeah, ChargePoint is the market leader.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
Their stock's not performing as well as I hoped, but that's beside the point. So yeah, I'll make some connections, and
that'd be great.
I'm sure the task force can help with there too.
Awesome. Fantastic. Very good. Well, listen, I don't mean to be rude, but
off to the next C committee, Conservation Board, right? Conservation Board now, right?
Kids' bedtime. I missed it last night for the board meeting. I'm not missing it tonight.
Yep.
So I don't mean to
all right, Matt.
Downstairs. So
yep.
Thanks.
Have a good one, everyone.
Us. All right.
Great.
Keep up the great work, everyone. Appreciate it. Great to see everyone. Robin, keep rocking on. Thank you for everything.
So if anybody does want to join that meeting on Monday, just send me a note and I'll make sure you're on the invite about the EV car show.
Yeah, I think it'd be great if we can announce, you know, it certainly sounds like it's a go that we can do it at town hall, you know, date TBD.
Yep. I got Bill and Susan and Laura, myself, and maybe a fellow named Tom are all working on it. So,
hey guys, I got to hop, but Bob, I'll shoot you a note. I'd love to be in the loop if I can help out there as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a daytime meeting on Monday. Whenever Matt can make it, that's when I'm going to meet with him.
But
I gotta jump to, guys.
Okay, good to see you guys.
Have a good one. Bye.
All right, well,
Thanks.
see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.